This is About That Business, hosted by Rom Wills, author, speaker, and entrepreneur. Sit back and enjoy.
Greetings, fam. Today I'm going to talk about money management. Hey, one of the things I want to do with this channel, and I stated this at the beginning, I'm talking about different businesses you can get into and definitely things like System D and things that will affect the economy. But if you about that business and you're trying to be entrepreneurial, one of the biggest things you're going to have to do is money management. Because the thing about entrepreneurs, typically, unless you are an independent contractor, which is entrepreneurial, where you basically deal with somebody on equal terms or favorable terms, you don't get paid regularly. Depending on what you're doing, there's a possibility you might get paid once a month. And I actually know of someone who is basically, they in business for themselves. Shoot, they get paid once every 3 months. They get six figures and stuff when they do get paid. But if you're not getting like every 2 weeks paycheck or every week paycheck, where you can just plan everything out, and you just getting paid maybe sporadically or depending on what you're doing, the most important skill that you're going to have is money management. That's the most important thing, because especially if you're in a shaky position, and especially if you don't have maybe a part-time job or something, which even though I want people to focus on just getting their businesses going, sometimes you might have to have a part-time job. There's nothing wrong with that. But say you're in a position, you're making just enough so you can really focus on your business, where you don't really need a part-time job, or really you might not be able to have even have a part-time job, depending on the nature of your business, right? But you still going to be in a position where you're going to have to manage your money, because you don't know what's going to happen. Say you have a kiosk in a mall, right? Selling those t-shirts. That I think that'll be our standard default when we discuss a business issue, right? The reality is that one day you might make $2,000 one day. You just rolling with the shirts. People just coming in buying them. They like lined up. All right, which is actually, that's a whole lot if you understand the business, right? But the next day, depending on what's going on, you might make 200. So you're not really getting a steady cash flow. And of course, you got to take money out of that to get more supplies, pay rent, and all of that stuff. So say out of that 2,000 you make, you can take home 400. Oh yeah, it's like that. If you're selling products, most of that stuff is going to go back into the products. Your profit margin is going to be very thin. So you got 400 basically for your home rent or mortgage, depending on where you at, to buy food, clothing, maybe entertain a bit. So that's like, instead of 2,000 a day, you made 400. But then the next day you only get 200. So then 40 of that might be going towards your private stuff. It's very important that you know how to manage all of that, because you have to be thinking, wait a minute, how much I got to pay all this? So you can't just casually buy stuff. You have to think about each purchase. Refer back to that video I did on living frugal. You might have to do that. Or even if you're making a lot of money, despite everything you making a lot of money, you still have to manage it, because Anybody if you in sales, services, or anything, things go with the ebb and flow. And especially, there's a lot of businesses, they really make most of their money in the fall during the Christmas season. And at some point I'll do a video on that, probably closer to September. That'll probably be a while, because most businesses start off like in September. That September through December, that's the real buying season. And in fact, you got many businesses, they won't do business until then. Even though right now you have a situation where many people, they already getting started on a Christmas season now. They already setting up for it. Whether, calendars, whatever. But you still have to have some money management. Now, let's say, okay, let's use that example. Let's use that example of seasonal stuff. Say your business, you're a certified accountant and you decide to do tax work, right? Independently. Most of your business is going to be from January through April, with maybe, depending on the business. Some businesses have tax work that need to be done through. Many businesses have tax work that have to be done throughout the year, but your main thing is those periods. That means you got to make that, but then you got to stretch out whatever money you make. You got to stretch that out. They got to carry you through stuff. So you have to be disciplined in your money spending habits. And that's very important. That's very important to think about, because that's what kills a lot of businesses. People make money and then they spend it. They think, they treating it like, oh, I'm always get this every month. Or if they get a little bit extra, they say, well, we'll splurge. It was like, no, you got to be very disciplined. You got to think about every purchase you make. Every purchase, You got, even, I'll tell you what, with me, I'm a person who, I love magazines. I love me some magazines. But the only magazines I'll purchase are like business type of magazines. And even then, I'm thinking about it, because like there's one business type magazine I just sent in for a subscription to. Because I said I want it, but I don't want to spend all that money. Because you got to start watching all of your money. You got to start watching it all, because like I said, everything's going well at first, but then you never know. There's always going to be a lean period. There's always going to be a lean period. In fact, retail establishments, like some of the larger ones, they actually schedule around that. They'll schedule people according to like what happened the year before, how many people shopped the year before on that particular day. They figured it out. They were like, okay, on sale days, we need this many people. So they know it is, you're not going to make the same amount. The goals will be different and everything. So you have to think, all right, I got to manage my money. And one of the best ways is to get in the habit of always saving something. Like even if it's like using that example again of 400 one day to spend, after everything is paid for, and then 40 the next. Both days you need to put money in the bank and into your savings, no matter what you have going on. Even if you like a small business person, you just making, even if you got a lemonade stand, you got out there, kid got a lemonade stand, tell that kid, or nowadays it might be some adults with some lemonade stands. You got to still put something away for those days where people are like, we don't want any lemonade. And then be disciplined with that savings and only use it when you absolutely, positively don't have any other option. But that money management thing, that's why you got a lot of magazines out there about managing money. And that's why, that's become a major profession. People just to manage somebody's funds and everything like that, because that's how important that is. So if you're in business, hey, that's one of the things you got to do. So anyway, that's it for today. So I was talking about money management. Go out there and make that money to be managed. All right. Talk to y'all later.
Mm.